Today's guest, Mr. Abhijit Chitrev, struggled in academics during his school days, but with determination completed his post-graduation from NIIT Nagpur. Abhijit started his career as a contractor with a PSU. He worked hard, acquired the right knowledge and skills. His corporate journey started as a software engineer and he rose to the position of a director at Veritas. Veritas is an American multinational data protection company based out of California. Data science and AI enthusiast, Abhijit's hobbies include photography, badminton, and Indian classical music. Welcome, viewers, to a fresh new episode of Career, Success, Life, and Happiness and Marks. So, welcome, Abhijit, to the show.
I was in a pretty good school when I started, but I think to be very honest with you, with the strength that we used to have, like 65, 70 people in a class, it's practically impossible for teacher to give it attention to everybody.
That's right.
So I was an average performer. I wasn't that good performer, so to say. It is also because that I knew that how hard I can work on it. I am not going to reach to a top 10 or top 15 people in the school. So I never liked the school that way. I seldom felt like going to school during that time because there were a lot of good performers in the school and I was like barely there. So I mean I never failed, but then when I passed my 10th, I was barely first class.
Okay.
So that was like a first shock in my life.
So, what did you decide? I mean, see, I believe in your time, typically the expectations of parents would be, that you either become an engineer.
Yeah. So my father was a postgraduate, and I was all along thinking that at least I should do my post-graduation. But looking at my performance till 10th, nobody could have told. In fact, I was not able to believe on myself, and my father said that now you have like 10th, you barely first class. If you do 12 and if you are like second class, what will I do next? And he put me into a polytechnic, a diploma, and that was actually a turning point. So two things happened. One is although I was an average performer, I was good at maths and physics. So I liked science and maths even in those days. So when I went to Polytechnic, I realized that there is no subjects and all what I was going to learn was actually I could apply, I could see the things moving. At the same time, when I was in Polytechnic, I could see myself in top 10. And that's where I felt that, okay, now I can probably perform something, somebody could recognize me. And my uncle used to say that if somebody can clear the first year of Polytechnic with all subjects, a person could do a PhD. And that kind of built my confidence. So truly, I cleared Polytechnic with flying colors. I was like second topper in Nagpur when I did
Wow,
that.
that's an achievement. I mean, see, considering that you're talking about your school days, when you were probably not among the top, probably 25 also, and then at a polytechnic level, that's an achievement.
Right. So I think my thinking is you don't have to go to a best school, but you should find a school that is best for you. The teacher should be able to look after you and you should be able to perform to your potential. I think that is a good start for any individual, I would say.
Absolutely.
And talking about my journey, when I realized that I was a second topper and I was kind of getting that level of appreciation, acknowledgement, when I went to a engineering college, it was like a cake drive for me because I have seen a lot of things that I learned in polytechnic or diploma are going to be like little advanced, but I had that comfort and I knew how to play that in top 5. So again, when I was in third year in engineering, I was like second topper. That also gives the privileges that you get books from your library and you can read more things, you can build yourself. So that kind of built me a lot of confidence in me. And when I done the graduation engineering, I realized I didn't reach to a level where I could challenge myself. So that's where after doing my engineering, I did my post-graduation from VRC, and that was also my dream college. I wanted to at least go and attend that. So when I did my MTech, I realized, that's something that I was looking forward to.
Perfect. So you're saying that, the appropriate recognition from your teachers is something which actually made a lot of difference.
Yeah.
I mean, the person was the same.
Correct.
The knowledge base or the, what we call as mental capacity didn't change. But it was probably the way teachers handled you
Correct.
made a lot of difference.
Yeah,
Wow,
absolutely.
that's it. Then you finished your post graduation from VRC. Did you get a campus offer or?
No, I did not. So I did my project from BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center,
Okay.
and I did try initially into the electronics side, kind of as probably everybody try to get into the best institute or a organization. I did interviewed for ISRO, DRDO, but then things were not in favor, and then I started looking at from into the software field because that's was a new emerging.
Which company did you start with?
Yeah, I started with, so I was actually a contractor, and that's like another journey. It was not a cakewalk when you start getting out. Initially, you feel that you are MTech, so people should be approaching you, but the reality is absolutely different. Without experience, nobody asks you. Yeah, so the contractor is a temporary employment that you get. So I started
Okay.
with a public sector unit, which allowed me to work as a temporary worker there. That's how I started.
Okay.
The thing came in when after a couple of years working there, I started applying in Bangalore, and that's where I got an opportunity to really work for a software company which was at like CMM level 3 company during that time.
Mhm.
And that's how the journey started. After that, when I was working there, I had a passion to work on Unix, and that's where the Veritas gave me an offer in 2002, and that's where I joined Veritas. And honestly, it was a dream company for many people in 2002.
Absolutely.
And honestly, when I joined the organization, I used to see somebody spend 10 years, 12 years, and I was thinking, with 4 years, this is my third company. Really, am I going to stay this long? And today, hey, it's like 18 years I'm working for Veritas. Although I changed different project, but it gives me the things that I was looking for, the passion that I had, the areas that I want to work on. So it kind of fulfilled my inner instinct that I wanted to achieve in my life.
How has the journey been?
Yeah, so I started as a tester, as SQA engineer, but then I had always had a passion to do automation because everything that we do manually, I was looking for how can I do more, and automation is probably no brainer, and that's how I started. So I did more lot of framework development, automation, and then I started working on a bigger product and yet another bigger product, and that's how I changed the products. So every 4 years my trend is I'm changing from one product to another product and getting that vast experience of working on different technology and platform.
When you look back, what would you contribute your success to?
Yeah, so see, success is actually a different thing to different people, and for me, I think the success is if you are able to manage your lifestyle, what you wanted to do, kind of with your family, and develop yourself at the same time, and also able to pursue your hobbies or aspirations while doing that. Because see, a lot of times people get confused. People look at their passion in their job. It's good to start with, and for sure. But then see, after a very long time, if you continue to work on it, you look for different options, and this job also provided that opportunity. So I was able to spend some time for playing badminton. I was able to spare some time for my photography. I was able to improve on that. Classical singing, I never thought about. I started learning that 3 years back, and so this is how I believe a success is. Success is not about becoming a director or a VP or anything like that, but it's the quality of life that you wanted to build for yourself, your family. Yet you are able to find the time to do certain things for yourself because that gives you inner satisfaction as you move forward.
So, what are the factors that contribute to growth in the corporate world?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think the key factor is the consistency, because see, no matter how hard you work, but maybe the timing is not correct for you. So you have to wait for that moment to happen. So persistence is a key to success, is what I see. Because there are many people who are talented, they join it. So talent is something I believe can come from your ancestor, your parents, grandparents, but hard work is something in your hand, and that is where you can create a difference. So my belief is you should focus, do the hard work, put your brain into it, get the possible outcome, and enjoy the journey. Don't look at the outcome, because outcome, see, even if you get something today, tomorrow it will be like absolute. So my thinking is look at the process, how you make yourself ahead of the curve, and enjoy that. So enjoy every day rather than looking at, hey, if I become married, then I will celebrate. No, you have to celebrate every day. Look for small little things. Enjoy the life as if tomorrow you are not going to be there.
Great. That's something that people generally preach, but there are very few people who are able to practice it. The young generation, if you look at. they have a lot of aspirations, and it's good to have aspirations. But then, the ability or the willingness to work hard is probably missing, is what everybody complains.
Yeah.
And they have, on day one, they'll expect that, I should have a car and a bungalow and a chauffeur and everything, and a cabin and people reporting to me. So, one, I want to check with you whether that is how you perceive the young generation to be. Second, does that really work?
Yeah, I mean, I could see in a lot of kids, they want to have like success just like that. But believe me, just like that, success is going to vanish just like that. So the key thing is you enjoy what you do, and gradually, because see, you have plenty of time to work on, and nothing is going to happen just like that. So I think we should continue to work on it, keep focus, and enjoy as you progress rather than looking for a shortcut. And that kind of, I also feel it's probably a generation gap, but I see when youngsters get into the organization, they have very high expectations. But slow down, focus on something, enjoy what you would like to do, and then continue with that rather than looking for something like a car or a bungalow. If it has to come, it will come, but don't look for that. I tell this to my team member even for the promotion. See, first is your capability and other is the availability of the role. So continue doing what you are doing the best possible you could, and eventually if it has to happen, it will happen.
Right.
And more than that, I think you are the best person to evaluate yourself. No other person can evaluate you better than yourself. So you should believe what you have and then just focus on what you would like to accomplish in your life.
Perfectly, very, very well said. See, a lot of youngsters also feel that you need a godfather in the corporate world. Is that a reality?
Yeah, so that's a tricky question. So people are the main thing for any organization. Now, I don't believe, at least I don't have any godfather, and I don't believe in godfathers. As long as you believe on yourself, there will be plenty of opportunities. And I can tell you, 20 years back when we were graduating, there were not too many streams available. But today, you just name it and you have plenty of things to do. So I'm not saying everybody should aspire for an engineer or anything. It could be a mechanic, but as long as he enjoy doing that and he get enough to enjoy his life, I think that should what people should aspire for.
What's your advice to the new generation?
Yeah, so my advice to new generation is, believe me, with these gadgets outing there is enormous way by which you can get distracted. So first thing is focus. Keep your mind silent, because there are enormous things like WhatsApp, Facebook, and all that. It is important that you have to keep time for yourself. It could be yoga, meditation, because these will give you a long way. You cannot avoid the things that will happen to you in your life. So you have to have peace in your mind at all times. And listen more rather than talking more, because the culture is such that everybody would like to share their views rather than listening to somebody else. So listen more, understand more, digest more, slow it down. Nothing is going to change in couple of days or a year. The life is going to be gradual. But stay away from those electronic gadgets, because no matter how much time you spend on that, it's not going to give you anything other than more stress for your life.
These are wonderful views, and I'm sure these are something that will definitely benefit the young people. And the particular point that you talked about, hard work, is something which I believe is really going to be critical for them to understand and implement in life. And as you perfectly said, yeah, life is a long journey.
There will be ups and downs. Believe me, I mean, for everybody, you pick up any person on the road, even the chai wala, he will have ups and downs for himself, herself. But no matter, you should just continue to focus on what you would like to. There will be one day for everybody, and you are also will have one day for yourself. So don't have to get frustrated. Everybody has their day in the life, and everybody will get it one day there.
Right. And the last point I would like you to talk about is marks. How critical are the marks?
See, focus on learning than the marks. See, as long as you are able to understand what is being taught and you are able to make meaning out of that, marks is at all not important. People who are not performing well or not getting good marks are also have their ways to celebrate the life.
Right. Sure, the parents and teachers and the students also would be listening to this and follow this all through their life. So on this happy note, let's conclude. So Abhijit, thanks a lot for your time, and I'm sure this will be very, very helpful to the youngsters. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you. thanks viewers for watching this episode. See you in the next episode.